Hello, this is Bunton again with episode 5 of Childhood Lost in Poverty Explained. Episode 5 is about learning how to be an adult. I finally achieved a life's goal of finding a father figure because by the time I was 15, I had told my mother that I have to leave my father's house or I didn't know what I was going to do with myself because I've had enough. You'll know why when you read the book. Fortunately for me, my wonderful cousin got his parents to accept me in their home. I didn't stay with them. I just visited them regularly. It became an increasing occurrence to the point where it's like I was virtually living with them. And then gradually, her father grew to love me as his own son. I guess one of the reasons why is he didn't have a son. So he adopted me, and I was there, and I was more than happy to help him with whatever he wanted to do. All he had to do was to pick up the phone because I was happy with him. So I learned a lot from him, as you will see from the book. And one of the life's lessons I learned around the age of 17 going 18 was done in such a clever way that I never forgot about it, in which he invited me and my friends over for a New Year's Eve celebration. He got all sorts of alcoholic drink at home. So we sat there. By that time, I had a girlfriend who was a friend of my cousin, and then my other friends came with me, hangers-on, and we celebrated. The point is, we were supposed to go to a New Year's Eve party at the Milton Margaret Teachers College because we had friends who were students there and so on and so forth. And then what happened was we started celebrating at my uncle's place after church. To cut a long story short, the celebration went through the night and we ended up leaving his place early in the morning around 8 o'clock in the morning. He drove us and dropped us off. I was living at Goldridge at the time, and we found our way home. The thing is, how I found my way home, I don't know. The manner in which when I woke up, the way I saw myself, I was shattered. We didn't go to the dance anymore, but we had a good time, but we learned a very, very serious lesson because I was hangovered for the whole day. My other two friends were also hangovered for the whole day. So eventually, my dad, I would say, invited us over, I think a few days later, and he put us down and said, "How was your New Year's Eve?" Nobody said anything because we were so embarrassed. And then he said, "Listen to this. Never drink more than you can handle. Because if you do, you're embarrassing yourself. You guys embarrassed yourself on New Year's Eve." I was so ashamed. But no other adult had ever given me that warning before. It took my uncle, my adopted father, courage to give me that warning. I never exceeded my limits with alcohol again. By this time, I was going out to discos. I was going out, that's what we used to call it. I was playing guitar. I even played guitar with a band for a brief while because I was not very good yet, you see. And nobody knew I could sing, you see. Then, cut a long story short, I started teaching at the age of 21. How I got that job, I can't remember, surprisingly enough, because that was so long ago. I think it was a cousin of mine who told me that if I'm interested, he can put me in contact with a school at Wilberforce, Parks, because they're looking for teachers. At that time, you didn't have to be a qualified teacher to teach in a primary school. So I became a primary school teacher, and I taught for 4 years. And I became good at it, really. So, from the age of 18 to the age of 22, I taught young children. I was good at it. I managed the school football team, and I played music with them at Christmas. It was great. So I arrived into adulthood with the confidence I would have arrived at adulthood had I had my own biological father taking good care of me and parenting me the way he was supposed to. I am ashamed to say that by that time, my opinion of my mother was not very great. I still loved her. And that is because of the experience I had during my childhood, you see. And of course, if you remember when I was an infant, the aunt I loved so dearly did something that made me forget about her. It was a betrayal of the worst kind. So all of these experiences I had, but I battled them. I went through the process. I remember when I was doing my GCSEs at the age of 16, 17, a guy who lived in the same compound as I did with my father. No, before that. I must have been around 15 years because I left my father's house at the age of about 14, 15. A guy who was living in the same compound, when he saw the way I was being treated by my father and my stepmother, he tried to invite me to come and study with him. And I was happy to do that. The only problem is I couldn't because I was too busy working for my stepmother. I went through all of that. And as a result, I did not pass my GCSE when I was supposed to. The subjects I just took the selective subject, which was maths and biology, which I passed, and literature. And the others, I couldn't because I did not have the confidence to know that I could pass them. My friends tried to convince me. I refused. As a result of that, I did not attend sixth form. I just went straight into teaching. It was later, much, much later in my life that I started realizing that I could do it. When I started working at a bank, I did my AIB, Associate of Institute of Bankers, Part 1 examination, which was the equivalent of about sixth form. And then, much later still, when I came to the UK, I attended university. So my life is really interesting. You need to read it. You need to compare it with yours and see where you went wrong, where you went right, how you emerged as an adult, but most importantly, and learn lessons from my experience with my parents. Okay, so the book is available, as I told you, Childhood Lost in Poverty, available in digital format, paperback, and audiobook format on amazon.co.uk and amazon.com. It's available in Australia as well. Unfortunately, I can't remember the Amazon code for those places, but you can easily find them in those two sites I've given you. So that's it. I want to start on the sequel to Childhood Lost in Poverty, but I want to make sure that I share my knowledge with my readers and encourage those who are interested to start writing. It is good. Please make notes, contact me, and we will write together. Take care of yourself. Ciao.